Now let's move over to the GUI of the Nuke Stage launcher. Nuke Stage launcher is the bridge between the render nodes that drive the LED wall and the Nuke Stage editor, where you can make real-time adjustments to your content whilst it's being displayed. In the GUI of the Nuke Stage launcher, we have four main areas. First is a list view of available processes, and those could be instances of an editor, the relay, and render nodes or other applications. Just beneath the list, we have relevant properties of the selected process. Here you'll be able to set up your IP address or application path, latency, delay timing, environment variables, etc. Then on the bottom right, you have two buttons to either launch or terminate a process. And then finally, in the top right, we have a log window, which will give you a live feedback log of the application as it's running. Now let's walk through a quick setup of how that should work. Firstly, we'll add an editor to launch Nuke Stage, a relay to handle the networking between the control machine and the render nodes, and then two render nodes that will drive the LED screens. For each render node, we can give an IP address and also a port number of the Nuke Stage listener application. This isn't necessary on a single control machine, but will be when working with multiple machines. Once that information is complete, we could then hit the Launch All button, and that will activate the relay and render processes and also load up our instance of Nuke Stage Editor. Once Nuke Stage Editor is open, we now need to configure Nuke Stage to talk to the relay control. When you open Nuke Stage, you should see the setup workspace by default. If not, you can navigate by the tabs here. Then located at the bottom right of the setup workspace is a properties panel, where you will see the connect to relay drop down. When we are connected to the relay, you should then get a list of render nodes we added from the Nuke Stage launcher. You'll find this here in the network panel above the timeline controls. Then we select the two render nodes we set up in the Nuke Stage launcher and add them to the network lists. If you have installed your render licenses correctly, you'll see a tick icon here. And once connected, we'll be able to see our render nodes performance, CPU, GPU and memory usage from within the network panel. As I'm on a single station recording, I will also see two floating windows which represent the borderless LED panels. Later in this series, I will show you how to connect the floating panels to the data seen by the Nuke Stage cameras. If you can't see your render nodes, check the following. Check that Nuke Stage Listener is running on render nodes and take note of the IP address and port numbers. Make sure the IP address and port numbers are correct in the Nuke Stage launcher, and remove any firewall settings that might be blocking the connection. Now, let's jump into Nuke Stage Editor and take a closer look at that UI.